All right. This is my last attempt. Skipping Zoom and I'm going right to Facebook because Zoom seems to be cutting me off. Um, Sorry, I'm just trying to find my video on my phone so I can keep track of what you guys are talking about. Can you hear me now? Okay. All right. Back up, maybe. Well, hey, life is full of challenges and we get through them and it makes us stronger, smarter people. So we're going to try this. This is my last attempt for the day. We're doing it strictly through Facebook and I'm not linking it through Zoom. And we will see how this works. If I get better um, reception, if it does cut out, somebody please just let me know. Last time. Okay, multitasking. I swear I tried this last night and I didn't have a problem, but I guess I didn't go over the 6 minute threshold. All right. So my name's Curtis and I work for Goodwill Columbus Work and Community Services. And over the next 4 weeks on Thursdays, we're going to be discussing interview basics. One thing that we love to teach our individuals and clients that we serve are how to conduct themselves, how to dress appropriately, how to answer questions appropriately, and how to do proper follow up, and all these wonderful good things that many of us take for granted, and to learn interview skills. So this is what is going and what we're doing. The course outline over the next 4 weeks is how to dress for success, when to arrive to your interview, how to greet the interviewer, questions you may be asked, facts about disclosure, and proper follow up. Today, we are only going to specifically concentrate on how to dress for success. All right, like the title says, how to dress for success. The skills we will cover today is what should you wear to an interview? Where can I shop to find good clothes for an interview? What should you purchase? How to prepare the night before the interview? Do you take the time to make sure the clothes are clean? Is ironing an appropriate thing to do for an interview outfit? And finally, what happens the day of the interview? Where do you keep your outfit if you're working? And what if something happens to your clothes or outfit on the way to the interview? All right. What should you wear to an interview? Well, obviously, you're going to wear some nice clothes. Some people might say your Sunday finest. Others might say something more than the sweats that you've been wearing for the last few weeks, anyways. Um, a lot of times, just a simple, good, clean look will make a good impression on a future employer. Uh, the one thing that employers look for is for someone who takes care of themselves, not someone who's just going to wear stretch pants or shorts to an interview, because you kind of wonder whether they are going to be there or not for you. Let's see. So, where can you shop to find good clothes for an interview? Well, shameless plug for our Goodwill retail division. Thrift stores have just about everything you need for even less than half the cost. If you are a thrift shopper or you like to go to consignment shops, I applaud your patience. It's not really something that I can do, but I try every now and then. As your typical man, I like to go in, get what I need, and get out. But sometimes you can find some really good stuff at thrift stores and it's in pretty good condition. I have gotten some work pants from there before and a couple nice polo shirts. So, you know, if you take the time, you can actually save yourself some money in the process. And if you can't find it at the thrift store, where do you go from there? Well, you want to check your local big box retailer. What do I mean by big box retailer? Well, I'm talking about Walmart, Target, Myers, all those big stores that are kind of like one stop shops. You go in, they've got everything from clothes to toys to automotive to food. Those are what's called big box retailers. Now, it's going to cost you more than it would at a thrift store, but it's not going to be as much as, say, going to the mall, shopping at a menswear, dropping $200, $300, $400 on a nice suit. Yeah, having a nice suit can help you if you're interviewing to be a CEO at a company, but it's not necessary to be that dressed up when you're going to a job interview. So a lot of times employers just want that nice clean look, as I said before. Um, but whether you're going to the thrift store or a big box retailer, you should be able to find the items needed for less than $30 to $50, and it'd be even less than that at a thrift store. All right, what should you purchase? Well, men, dress pants or khakis, button down shirt, preferably something with a solid color. You don't want some fancy design like palm trees or pineapples or um, tiki torches. You definitely want, like a white t-shirt underneath any kind of dress up shirt, or gives that nice clean appearance. I always like to wear t-shirts under my shirts. Just kind of fits in nice and tight. And then a tie if you're wearing a button-down shirt, a belt. You always want to wear a belt when you're tucking in your shirt, and dress shoes. You can wear white socks, which is acceptable if you're dressing in khakis. If you've got black pants, if you've got the ability to get black socks, then I would stress getting black socks. But it's again personal preference at that point. Women, you want like a dress or a nice pair of slacks. You definitely, you want to stay away from wearing stretch pants or leggings. If you're wearing a dress or a nice skirt, then, nylons would be an acceptable thing to purchase to kind of help give you that clean look. And dress shoes, you want to refrain from really, really high heels. You don't really want the big heels. Uh, sure, it might make you look taller, but you want something. I mean, it's okay to wear, an inch or two heel. You just don't want to be wearing the big 4 or 5 inch stilettos. Wear something comfortable because you might be standing for a bit, or you might have to go for a walk. You might, the interviewer might take you on a tour around the business that you're interviewing for. And to have something that might be uncomfortable on your feet, you may want to think about that. So I got a little picture here, a little graphic, have an interview, a professional event coming up, learn how to decode the dress code. Um, so it's just some sort of representation. You want to keep colors the solid colors. Black, white, gray, brown, dark blue, suit jacket or business dress, suit pants or slacks, skirts and dresses extended to the knee. You don't want really short skirts. You definitely don't want to be showing off any of the goods to an employer. You want to be presentable and professional. And then low heels are acceptable. Um, you could even go as far as, like a suit jacket or cardigan can be added for, classy looks. Um, yeah, more colors and patterns are acceptable, but again, you want to stay away from the wild, flashy stuff. Khaki pants or nice trousers or slacks, uh, fingertip length skirt. Again, it's something close to the knee. Flats or heels acceptable. For the men, same with the colors. You want to keep it to the base. Some people might even call them earth tones. Suit or sports jacket, you can wear that. Nice pants or nice trousers, dress shoes. And then, others, they would call this a business casual look. You can have a nice jacket if you've got um, maybe a nice spring jacket that you can wear, or you could wear a collared or polo shirt. Um, some patterns, but you want to kind of, again, stay away from major, you don't want a shirt covered in paisleys, but if it's got a simple lined pattern on it, that would be okay. Um, Tie is optional. Obviously, if you're wearing a polo shirt, you're not going to wear a tie. But if you are wearing a button down shirt, you probably should wear a tie. Khaki pants, again, very acceptable. Um, Tips for success in any business situation. When in doubt, always dress conservatively. Save your fun and flair for the weekends and your days off. Suit and tie for males will suffice in most situations. Make sure your outfit is wrinkle free. Stick with solid colors and tighter woven fabrics or simple patterns. You definitely, yes, those big comfy sweaters with the nice knit patterns are great. Might not be something that you would want to wear to a job interview. And definitely want to keep your accessories to a minimum. Keep it simple. You don't want a bunch of jewelry on. You don't want 50 million earrings in or bracelets all the way up to your elbow. So you definitely want to, keep it simple. Basic pumps, modest jewelry, light makeup, and light perfume. Don't take a bath in your perfume the day of your interview. Wear belts. Wearing a watch is not necessary. Um, Sometimes you can get lucky. Um, Make sure your hair is all nice and neat. Definitely want to be groomed. Avoid the messy look. Shirts with lettering or graphics should not be worn. Uh, Make sure you don't have any missing buttons. Why should we not have missing buttons? Missing buttons are definitely something we don't want to have because it makes it look sloppy. Like you're definitely not up to task. Like you're too lazy to try and join in and get things fixed. All right. And then skirts no shorter than the tips of your middle fingers or just above the knee for good measure. Always want to err on the side of caution. All right, let's see here. Women's attire. The do's: jewelry in moderation, conservative two-piece suit, skirt knee length, hosiery at or near skin color. You don't want to be wearing purple hose, and dark shoes. Don'ts. You don't want this large necklace. It's distracting. Bright colors, patterns. If you're interviewing for a fashion designer, then yeah, maybe you want to present a nice little, flash or flare. But when you're doing a normal job interview, you don't want very bright colors. Capris are very casual. Those are things that you wear on the weekends, but not something you'd wear to an interview. And no open-toed shoes. Guys, no earrings. Silk necktie with conservative patterns. Again, you don't want the big old Santa playing golf on your necktie. You want something that's gonna, like power ties. They always talk about solid color power ties or something that's just a basic stripe pattern or geometric shapes, as long as they're not too busy, are pretty good. Um, Shirt cuffs. If you do have a suit jacket, you don't want the cuffs not to be seen, but you don't want them to be all the way down your hand as well. Um, just a conservative two-piece suit. This would be fine even without the suit jacket. Dark shoes and socks. Uh, Don'ts. You want to make sure if you have facial hair that it's neat and trimmed. You don't just want to go in looking like Scruff McDog. All right, avoid distracting or busy patterns. Looking at this dude's sweater just drives my eyes nuts. I can't tell if the lines are moving or not, but it would definitely be distracting for me as an interviewer if he wore that kind of sweater. Don't roll up your pants. Don't wear short pants. And don't forget socks. See how he's kind of wearing shoes without socks? Most people kind of look down on that. Here's just some other more examples that you can look at for a second, just to show different looks. All right. So, how to prepare the night before the interview? It's always very important to have some sort of preparation in mind and get it ready the night before. So, do you take the time to make sure the clothes are clean? Absolutely. You don't want to go out, show up at this place for a job interview and realize your clothes smell kind of funky. You definitely want to make sure that everything that you're wearing for your job interview is clean and clean smelling. So, how do you wash your laundry? I know a lot of this might seem basic to people, but it's a legitimate concern. Do you have access to a washer and dryer at home? If not, you'll have to coordinate a trip to the laundromat a day or two before your interview. And some of that, for certain individuals may take some time to get that coordinated. So you really want to think ahead. It might be okay to have things washed a week or two in advance and keep them hung up and in the closet. Um, but you just got to make sure that it still kind of smells clean when you do pull it out. And are you using the correct laundry detergent? You can get laundry detergent at the dollar store. You can also get it at, grocery stores, big box retailers, little mom and pop corner shops. Do not use dish soap to wash your clothes. Yeah, it's soap, but dish soap is not designed to clean your clothes. That's on there because I know an individual who did that, and their clothes smelled kind of funky, really funky. And they swear up and down that they washed them, and when further asked, they said they used dish soap. Dish soap will not do it. If you have trouble affording soap to wash your clothes, what they would call laundry detergent, um, get at the dollar store. It's $1. And are you hanging up the outfit as soon as it comes out of the dryer? I know. That requires you to not just throw it all in a bag and take it home and then fold it and do whatever with it. You really have to be aware and hang that stuff up as soon as it comes out. And why do people do this? Because it saves them from having to iron too much. A lot of clothes nowadays are marketed as wrinkle free. Well, they're only wrinkle free if you take them directly out of the dryer and hang them up. If you just throw them back in your laundry bag or basket and then wait a day or two, they're going to get wrinkled, and that's going to mean that you're going to have to iron them. So save yourself some work and bring some hangers with you. All right. Is ironing an appropriate thing to do for an interview outfit? Only if the clothes are extremely wrinkled. Um, if clothes are going to naturally get wrinkled when you wear them, you're going to get your wrinkles in the knee as you're sitting, um, or around other parts. Um, you know, the arms, the sleeves and stuff might get wrinkled. If you're wearing it during the day and doing what you need to do, there might be a spot or two. But by taking the extra effort to iron your clothes out and get them all pressed up, you're presenting a very nice and neat appearance. But it also shows that you're willing to do the extra effort for something that you really want to do. And I'll tell you what, interviewers, especially myself, I look for stuff like that. I know, does this person come in all wrinkled up? That shows to me that they don't care how they look. They don't want to put any extra effort into their appearance. Well, if they're not willing to do that for themselves, how am I to be sure that they're going to put in the extra effort for the job that I'm hiring them to do? So I look for stuff like that. Other employers look for stuff like that. And if you don't know how to iron, let us know. We can help teach that kind of course as well. It's fun, especially if you got an ironing board. All right. Organize the clothes before going to bed and have them by the door. Lay everything out. If you're going to get dressed in the morning, have everything at the spot where you're going to see them to get dressed in the morning. So they're right there. If you're not going to get dressed in the morning, if you're going to wear different clothes to whatever it is you're doing, have them hung up, but then have them close by the door that you exit your house at. So that way you see them visually and you'll know to pick them up and take them with you. Otherwise, if they're just hanging up in your closet, you're going to completely forget about them and you're going to walk out and have to either come back or cancel your interview. I definitely don't want you to do that. But do it the night before. Don't get up in the morning. What happens if you get up late? Then you're scrambling around, you're going to forget something. Have everything, all the clothes hung up, ready to go, shoes by the door, shoes in a bag by the door. Everything's prepared and ready to go. All right. Our last section of the day is what happens the day of the interview. We all know that interviews don't happen first thing in the morning, or, we're at the discretion of the employer that's giving the interview, is they're trying to schedule us in to times that accommodate their schedule. They're busy people. So we definitely want to be aware of that. But if it's later in the day, we want to be all prepared and have, a change of clothes ready to go. So we can go do our job, or if we're going out to shop, we don't want to shop in our interview clothes. We'll come back and change from there. So where do you keep your outfit if you're working? Do not just throw them into or on top of your vehicle. Not only will they get wrinkled, but they'll get dirty too. I mean, this is really good packing skills, I guess you would call it, but that's definitely not how you would want to store your clothes in your car the day of an interview. One, you would probably lose where you put things, and two, chances are it's going to get dirty. Instead, most cars have little handles, and some have even little hooks that hang down, in which you can hang a hanger from on the inside the vehicle. It's usually in the back seats and kind of easy to get to. And see, you kind of hang it up, and it stays hung up, and it's all nice and ready for you. So when it's time to come out and get your clothes and get dressed for an interview, everything's all set and prepared. So, what if something happens to my clothes on the way to the interview? Well, first, you do not want to panic. Um, if you do have extra clothes, and you do have a propensity of having some sort of mishap with your clothes, it's best to bring an extra outfit, or shirt, or a tie, or a suit jacket if you got one. But that's worst case scenario, just in case. Now, this gentleman here with the mustard on his tie, he can just, bring a spare tie with him. He can change that out and be okay. Guy with the ketchup stain, a little trickier. It's red on a white shirt. It's kind of wrinkled, by the way, too. But, he could potentially clean up that red ketchup right away, or pasta sauce, or whatever it is. But if he can't get to it right away and it stain sets in a little bit, it'll be a little trickier. But if he can get that cleaned up, he can potentially hide that with a tie if he's got a tie wide enough to cover that up. Otherwise, he's going to have a spare shirt. Ladies with the blouses, lady up here in the top right, if she had a cardigan, she could hide that with a cardigan. Otherwise, she's going to have a different shirt blouse to change into, or if she had a vest to wear over that. This lady, on the other hand, she spilled coffee not only on the front of her shirt, but on her lapel as well. And those are a lot harder to hide because those are meant to be out in front of, say, if you're wearing a suit jacket or a cardigan or something. So she's definitely going to have a different blouse to go. And you got to remember that extra blouse or skirt is going to need to match what you're currently wearing. So again, if you have a habit of spilling food on yourself or bumping up against things that are dirty, you want to bring something extra with you. It's like I had a propensity of locking my keys in my car back in the day when I first started driving. So I kept a spare door key in my wallet. These are the things we got to do, and we have to be motivated enough to do them on our own. Now, if you don't have extra clothes, try hard to get the stain out. And it's okay to ask someone for help. If you have staff with you, or someone at work that you trust, and, many times people are very willing and able to help. You just have to ask. Yes, it's embarrassing, but it's manageable. Okay, it's nothing to be afraid of. But if this happens on your way to the interview It is best to just call them ahead of time and explain what happened and that you respectfully request to reschedule your interview. Honesty is a very good policy if something like this would truly happen. Say you're standing at the bus stop and some jerk hits a mud puddle and just splashes you with mud and covers you from head to toe. Do not go to the interview like that. It would not be a very good look, and your potential employer would really love communication ahead of time to make sure that you are ready. Um, and if something comes up, it shows that you've got great communication skills and that you're willing to reach out when something's going wrong to explain the circumstances versus just not showing up at all. That's one thing employers hate is when an interview is scheduled and the person doesn't show up and doesn't call. Well, that interview generally does not get rescheduled, and their name goes to the list of not acceptable to work at this facility. So these are things that we should all take into consideration when we're going. Now, seeing how I am still live, I'm surprised we made it. I've got nothing else to go. I've reached the end. I thank you all for your time, and I will see you at the next time. So thank you guys for sticking around, to anybody who did through all the complications. We finally made it through. Enjoy the rest.